Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the event 5 of the final session of the Child Rights Block in the NAPSWI Legal Literacy Workshop. I'm Srinath Bandela, the NAPSWI National Student Ambassador and also the National Student Ambassador Coordinator. And over the past sessions, we have explored various dimensions of the child rights, from legal provisions to implementation challenges. And today's session brings all of that together by focusing on the historical evolution of child rights in India and the institutional mechanism that safeguard them, particularly the National Commission for Protection of Child Rights, which is NCPCR, and also the state commissions, please. So this session is important because understanding, as from the beginning, we were like understanding the law is not just enough, but we must also understand how the systems function. So where the gap exists and how that accountability is ensured. So this is the, as you all know, that this is the concluding session of the child rights block. And I encourage all the participants to engage actively and make most of the learning opportunity. And this, we move forward to the session. And today's session, it's mainly focused on the historical evolution of child rights in India, along with the role of NCPCR, state commissions, and child protection laws. And before we go into session, there are a few announcements like please turn on your cameras and keep them visible as far as possible. And also do not turn on your microphone unless requested. And if you have any queries, kindly wait, as we'll be having a Q&A session after the each segment. And in case of any doubts in the Q&A, you can raise your hands and ask your questions when invited. And due to the time constraints, we only have 10 minutes for this Q&A session, and rest in the chat box, or later we could address that. Yes. So child rights in India have evolved through constitutional provisions, international commitments, and national laws. Institutions like NCPCR and state commissions ensure that these rights are not just written, but also implemented. For the social workers like us, understanding these mechanisms is critical for advocacy, protection, and intervention. So with this context, we now begin the today's session. And our first resource person is Dr. Vasudeva Sharma, sir, a distinguished child rights activist and a highly respected professional in the field of child protection and social work. He currently serves as the Executive Director of the Child Rights Trust, which is CRT, and brings with him over 3 decades of extensive field and policy experience. So Dr. Sharma, sir, work spans across child rescue operations, rehabilitation, rural community development, and high-level policy advocacy, making him a rare combination of both the practitioner and also a policy expert. Sir has held key statutory and advisory positions, including serving as the chairperson of the CWC Child Welfare Committee and as a member of the Karnataka State Commission for Protection of Child Rights, where he contributed significantly to strengthening the child protection mechanisms at the state level. In addition, Sir has also worked closely with the UNICEF and the government of Karnataka, playing an important role in developing state action plans on child protection and anti-trafficking initiatives. So he's also a recipient of the Karnataka State Child Welfare Award and continues to lead initiatives such as the Karnataka Child Rights Observatory, which is KCRO, working tirelessly to ensure accountability and protection for every child. Sir, your vast experience in both the field and practice and policy makes your perspective extremely valuable for today's session, and we are very honored to have you with us, sir. Over to you, sir.
Thank you. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you. Yeah. My dear Dr. Sanjay Bhatt, my fellow panelist, Professor R.P. Dwivedi, Mr. Srinath, and the office bearers of NAPSWI, and my fellow social work students and practitioners in this web workshop series on legal literacy. Thank you very much for inviting me, a practitioner from the child rights field, to take part in this series to discuss with you on historical analysis or aspects of child rights in India. Let us begin our discussion on the historical analysis of child rights in India by remembering Jawaharlal Nehru. India's first Prime Minister. He said, "The children of today will make the India of tomorrow. The way we bring them up will determine the future of the country." A very apt statement. And I recall this statement every now and then when we discuss about whether children are citizens or not. This very statement seems to be having the spirit of child rights in its core. Probably Nehru was referring to the health, protection, education, and development of children when he gave the call about the children and the future of India. When you take a look at the history of child rights in India, we understand that it runs with the history of India's independence movement itself. Later, the history of child rights is closely associated with the Indian community, development of the constitution, governance, the justice system, civil society, and the polity evolved. The history of child rights in India is interwoven in the NGO movements, government interventions, support groups, or the commonly called funding agencies' involvement, the role played by UN and its bodies like the UNICEF and ILO, how child-centric criminal cases were handled by the police, the judiciary, and the media, judicial activism, directions by the courts, campaigns for demanding the rightful position and services for children, notable field interventions by the civil society, or you call NGOs, advocacy, research, and recommendations, as well as courses conducted by the universities, schemes and programs rolled out by the governments, population growth and demands of the children, and the innovations to protect the interests of children, and of course, the recognition to child rights activists, both domestically and by international groups like the Nobel Prize to Kailash Satyarthi. You may be thinking that what is this listing like? This is, of course, is not a smooth sail or development. Everything happened in an easy manner. Several groups working in the field of child rights have faced hostilities, threats, and difficulties on the way to establish child rights, as well as some recognitions and accolades for their contributions. As you are aware, although the concept of child rights as an individual, rather the concept of child as an individual and that children have rights was recognized in France in 1800s. It was Miss Eglanton Jebb from England who raised the first call about the rights of the children after witnessing the devastating effect of World War, the First World War, on children in Europe in 1919. The idea of child rights that she proposed through Save the Children was accepted by the League of Nations. This idea developed into an UN convention in 1989, which is now accepted by the UN member countries in varying forms. Why I say varying forms? Because USA has signed the convention but has not ratified it yet. It is still hanging. India has signed and ratified, but still has a reservation to Article 32 of the convention, which demands the member states to give a clarity about child labor. Although all member countries of UN have acceded to UNCRC, most of the countries are struggling to fulfill the expectations of the UN in the implementation of the CRC in full spirit due to a number of reasons and lacunae that they are struggling with. The situation in India is of no difference. In the past 4 decades, we also have witnessed different waves in the implementation of child rights in India, which are part of this history. Much before the concept of child rights, as we have been introduced by the UN Convention on the Rights of the Child in 1989, we can trace elements of rights of the children being discussed are in the discussion from the pre-independence days and also during the independence movement. One in the form of how the British tried to suppress the rights of some children, largely the princely states, like the adopted children have no right for the throne. And later, how the same British government attempted to protect the interests of children through legislation and welfare measures like prohibiting child marriages and restricting child labor in certain sections or sectors. In such developments, we can see the thinking and contributions of the Phule couple, Rajaram Mohan Roy, Gandhi, Ambedkar, and many more who had concentrated on the importance of ending discrimination, upholding health, education, and development of children, and in particular, girl child and children of the deprived classes. The second stage where we come across child-centric issues is at the time of development and adaptation of the Constitution. The very concept of citizenship as defined in Article 5 is in fact refers to children. Every person born within the territory of this country are citizens of India. This also makes it very clear that children are citizens today. There is no concept of future citizens. The third stage we see when on children's issues can be witnessed in the rolling out of the 5 years plans, and in its various stages, child is seen prominently. Along with this, in 1979, the then Prime Minister of India, Mrs. Indira Gandhi, announced the National Policy for Children. The fourth stage came with the UN Convention on the Rights of the Child in 1989, and India ratifying it in 1992, and the aftermath. Probably, we can say we are in the era of the child rights age, where we can recognize the growing sensitivity towards children and child rights. I'm making this statement knowing fully well that many would object to this. One would point at the rising numbers of child abuse and exploitation and questions me. You are absolutely right. But at the same time, I reiterate that those cases are being reported to the concerned and the authorities, to the police, to the protection system, and to the law courts as per the laws with child rights perspective. And the perpetrators are named and punished, which are indicators of child rights sensitivity. Otherwise, most of the child abuse and exploitation cases would have never seen from the justice point of view. As I mentioned in the beginning of this discussion, the history of child rights is associated with the development of child welfare and development schemes, programs, projects, as well as enactment of acts from justice perspective, particularly to protect the children from adults and uncaring society. I repeat, it is to protect children from the adults and the uncaring society. This could be caste-related, religion-related, customs and practices, and also due to inaction of the service providers. All along, we can also recognize various advocacy movements internally and the international developments. The UN Convention on the Rights of the Child recognizes 4 broad principles for the realization of rights of the children, that is the survival, protection, development, participation. The 4 principles are: 1, non-discrimination; best interests of the children; survival and development are inherent rights; and 4th, freedom of age-appropriate participation and expression. Although the Constitution of India guarantees every child all these 4 rights, the larger society is not that sensitive to them, and in particular with respect to children. Even today, the biggest battle we, the child rights field practitioners, activists, and advocacy and lobbying people are having on a day-to-day basis is dereliction of duties or kartavya lop by the service providers and decision makers. Because many service providers in the form of teachers, doctors, police, welfare officers, wardens, counselors, or public prosecutors, they don't see any big benefit to them personally or individually by serving the children, the underprivileged children. That too, children from poor rural communities, scheduled castes and tribes, minorities, children in urban slums, migrants, etc. Because these are all marginalized. Their services or their contribution is not transforming into rupee and pie to these people. The age-old discriminatory outlook will not let them perform their duties in the best interest of the child. Probably, this was not either noticed or questioned by the communities for a long time until the people's movements organizations spread widely in the country. Thanks to many support groups from the West who brought not only financial support, but also ideological inputs to protect the interests of the children, to protect from child labor, bonded labor, providing education, prevent child marriages, trafficking, physical and sexual abuse, prevent sale of children in the form of illegal adoption, etc. It is worthy to mention the names of Oxfam, ActionAid, TDH groups, NoWib, Save the Children Fund, CCF, NORAD, Bread for the World, Ashoka University for the Public, etc. The establishment of CRY, then it was Child Relief and You, in 1979 as an Indian support agency is a notable development in the history of Indian child rights movement. Afterwards, several organizations started in the same form. CRY supported not only small organizations in nooks and corners of the country, but also has a very big role in building the aspirations of the families and the communities for child education, ending child labor and bonded labor, and having a happy childhood. And further, playing a role in policy influencing and strengthening the program implementation. I cannot take the discussion about child rights in India further without mentioning the contributions of UNICEF. Established in 1946, then as United Nations International Children's Emergency Fund, later they dropped emergency and F. The UNICEF entered India in 1949. UNICEF has worked with us from the days of independence and has made its contributions by providing emergency relief, nutrition to children and mothers, providing immunization and health services, influencing our health, protection, and education policy, training the service providers at various stages, and also preparing the country to develop our own standards and child index on the lines of human development indicators. UNICEF's contribution or continued support to lower IMR, infant mortality rate, under 5 mortality rate, maternal mortality ratio, and malnutrition in India is a major part of our historical development. In 1975, India launched the ICDS, Integrated Child Development Services, in the form of a scheme with the support of UNICEF. This is recognized as the first baby steps by India in the rights-based approach. Today, ICDS and its Anganwadi program is one of the world's largest program that is catering to the needs of mothers and children. By late 2025, the Integrated Child Development Services in India is set to be providing services to over 90 million children, or 9 crores or 900 lakhs, and 11 million pregnant and lactating mothers, that is around 1 crore 10 lakhs. Operating through approximately 14 lakh Anganwadi centers, this initiative constitutes the world's largest early childhood program aimed at curbing malnutrition and improving health. How can we forget this? This is one of the major child rights historical milestones in India. The child rights-based activities shift in policies, acts, and programs is rather a slow development in India. It's only after India became a party in the UNCRC. India ratified the UNCRC in 1992. Probably I repeated this for more than 5 times by this time. India ratified the UNCRC in 1992, rather 3 years after. Again, India took about 8 years to make the first major move to bring the child rights language in its acts. Today, we see a person below 18 years or up to 18 years as a child everywhere. Even the recent, the BNS, Bharatiya Nyaya Samhita, has also defined child as a person below 18 years in its definitions part. Well, that was the enactment of the Juvenile Justice Care and Protection of Children Act 2000. This is a very important move by the government from multiple dimensions. It is the first official recognition to persons up to 18 years as a child. It directed the administration to bifurcate children in need of care and protection and children in conflict with law for welfare and justice and reintegration into the families and society. It made very clear that reformation is the key and not confinement or punishment to children. And more importantly, it accepted the role of civil society, that is NGOs, and the citizenry to take a major role in the juvenile justice system. People outside the government, outside the judiciary, are given a role in the Child Welfare Committee and Juvenile Justice Board. The Juvenile Justice Act 2000 and its various application possibilities is not a sudden boon by the government. We need to recognize some of the very important developments in the 1990s. This is the major part of the history of child rights in India. I begin with a landmark Supreme Court judgment in MC Mehta versus State of Tamil Nadu in 1991, addressing the issue of child labor in the match factories of Shivakashi, Tamil Nadu, brought the child rights perspective to the foreground that drew the attention of all, including the common citizens. It demanded the country to end child labor under 14 years as per the 1986 Child Labor Prohibition Regulation Act and guaranteed education to them. The next step we see the beginning of national level movements like Campaign Against Child Labor in 1992. The third, massive campaigns for comprehensive immunization, girl child protection, prevention of female feticide, infanticide, etc. And we see the next one is very important one, the Justice Jeevan Reddy's constitutional bench that heard the case Unnikrishnan versus State of Andhra Pradesh, which adjudged that primary education is more important than sanctioning engineering and medical colleges. The crux of the judgment elevated the provisions of the Article 45, the earlier one. The state shall endeavor to provide free and compulsory education to children within 10 years after the commencement of the Constitution, under the directive principle of state policy to fundamental rights under Article 21, that is survival rights. Next is the groundswell demand for right to education by several groups under the leadership of NAPSWI, National Alliance for Fundamental Right to Education. Campaign against child trafficking and campaigns and movements against child sexual abuse, child marriages, and dedication of children into Devadasi, etc. are also notable. The media advocacy that supported NGOs, campaigns, investigative reporting needs to be mentioned as part of the child rights history in India. The story of child rights development is not an account of cakewalk. Everything was not happy. Everyone were greeted well. Along with the listing I just shared, we have to highlight the contributions made by hundreds and thousands of NGOs all over India that has made significant contributions in terms of working with the communities to uphold the rights of the children from health, protection, development, and participation perspectives. There is recorded evidence and cases where thousands and thousands of children being rescued from child labor, bonded labor, supporting immunization and nutrition programs by the government, taking children to schools and enrolling them, following up with them, in particular supporting girl-child education, prevention of child marriages, trafficking of children, etc. In all these, hundreds and hundreds of grassroots level workers, volunteers, field facilitators who are not much educated, they are not BSWs or MSWs, who are not much educated, are trained, acted as the barefoot soldiers, who in reality have faced the real heat and dust and hostilities. Stories from Andhra Pradesh, Tamil Nadu, Rajasthan, Karnataka, Uttar Pradesh, Orissa, and Bihar are just a few testimonials for this. There are incidents of such ground people being accosted, teased, made fun of, blamed, and even beaten up for rescuing child laborers and preventing child marriages, or rescuing rescuing children who are trafficked, and taking children to schooling, providing hostel facilities, etc. A special mention about Childline 10-8, conceived and developed by Mrs. Jerubilu Moria, a social work graduate from TIS, as a student project, which became a lifeline for child protection, has to be made. The idea, which was nurtured by Ashoka innovators for the public in a very short period, became a mantra of every child for protection. The government took over the program, and now it became a part of the juvenile justice system and the Act and the ICPS. Unfortunately, NGOs are out of it. Now, Childline is part of Vatsalya program, and lots of questions are being asked. What's after 2000? With the directions from the court and the groundswell demand by the public, Government of India attempted to make an amendment to Article 21 in the Constitution in a hush-hush manner by making it compulsory and free education to children in government schools. I know I'm coming back to RTE. There was a protest and technically the bill lapsed. A major constitutional recognition came in 2001 when Article 21A was added, guaranteeing Indian children in the age group of 6 to 14 with the right to free and compulsory education. But we had to wait till 2009 for an act in the form of the right of children for free and compulsory education. The other major milestone in the history of child rights include passage of Prohibition of Child Marriage Act 2006 and POCSO, Protection of Children from Sexual Offences, in 2012. In between, in 2013, Government of India brought out the National Policy for Children with a rights perspective and language. This policy was supposed to be reviewed in 2018. So far, nothing has happened. With the internal pressure and external demand by the UN and to comply with the ILO conventions, India has made an amendment to the Child Labor Prohibition Act as the Child and Adolescent Labor Prohibition Regulation Act 2015. In principle, the Act prohibits employment of children, that is up to 18 years, in any hazardous labor. In India, generally people and the government understands the need for child's survival, protection, and development. The right to participation, the right of children to express and participate is not that given importance. A few experiments and field interventions in some states have highlighted this. The Child Rights Grama Sabha and Child Rights Nagara Sabhas in Karnataka is recognized and accepted by the government. An initiative taken by NGOs is now accepted by the government. Similarly, several NGOs across the country are organizing child rights parliament in various forms to prepare platforms for children to express with information. The movements by NGOs to make the local governments and state governments accountable to children is seen in the form of inclusion of children in committees for planning and reviewing of hostels, schools, homes, that is children's homes, childcare institutions, services is a very good development. We need to recognize the contributions of schools of social work, law, and various other humanities who have offered courses in child rights in the form of diploma, certificates, and degree, which are contributing positively for upholding the rights of the children. The current focus. I'm coming to the end. A Roman Magsaysay Award to Miss Shanta Sinha of MB Foundation, Hyderabad, and a Nobel Prize to Mr. Kailash Satyarthi, Bachpan Bachao Andolan, probably made a huge impact about the way the communities, government, media, and the other sectors about the interventions for upholding the rights of the children. But still, a lot of work needs to be done in the field of research, capacity building, educating the masses, coupled with the field interventions to realize the rights of the children. Today, India's child population is slowly coming down. In 2011, in a total 120 crore population, India had an upper hand with 40% child population, or almost 50 crores of children. This made headlines and as India's young population. We almost gave a promise to the world as the human resource supplier. Today, in the population provisional estimations, with a population of 140 crores, India's child population is at 30% or at 42 crores. This is alarming. This is not just a demographic figure, but a call for everyone to think about children and child rights. Whenever India submitted its India Country Report on the implementation of child rights, the UNCRC committee continued to nudge the government of India, asking for establishing an independent monitoring body for the implementation of child rights. To fulfill this, Government of India passed the National Commissions for the Protection of Child Rights Act in 2005. I'm sure the next speaker is going to elaborate on it. A National Commission and State Commissions were established. I was also part of that at Karnataka State when the commission was established for the first time in 2009. Although this is appreciated, we are now witnessing that these commissions are also just a namesake body. I know I'm making a statement, I'm making it. We still have a long way to go and a lot to work to strengthen the historical developments and achievements in the field of child rights in India by ensuring health and nutrition, protection, education, and a happy future for every child, which is also the promise made by SDGs. Today, along with the government, support groups, NGOs, several corporate groups are also on the ground. But most are interested in providing services only, not from rights perspective. As we study in social work, they are more interested in giving the fish. The real sense of child rights and its rolling out is in making people learn how to fish. We need to invest on something else, but the investment by corporates, the CSR, is on buildings or toilets. The involvement on building capacities of people, advocacy with the government to act is what is important than just building toilets, classrooms, and computer labs without the required facilities and trained manpower. In the current days of wars, crisis, and difficulties, it is worthwhile to recall what Miss Eglanton Jebb, the proponent of child rights, said. A war cannot be justified. Wars are always fought against children. Let us move towards to uphold every right for every child while recalling the milestones that we have achieved in India to uphold the rights of the child. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. So we now yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you for your valuable insights. And we have Q&A session, sir, right now. So I request all the participants to kindly raise your hands and be prepared for your questions, and requesting not to intervene by yourself, and don't unmute yourself, only just speak when you are asked to given chance. Thank you. So first we have Akbar, sir. Mr. Akbar, kindly unmute yourself and raise your question.
Good afternoon.
Yes.
Good afternoon to everyone. My question is regarding the child rights. The session was overall on the basis on the history of child rights in India. But my question is based on the current situation and current scenario of the world, which we are observing, the current global situation. Sir, why the major international organizations such as United Nations, UNICEF, human rights and other organizations appeared silent or maybe ineffective regarding the genocide and killing of children in the Gaza, or recent we have seen the 160, 170 children have been killed in Iran. Why the United Organization and UNICEF are silent and not taking any appropriate action on these things? Do these organizations support powerful countries like United States and Israel, or their limitation to their authority and ability to act? The second, in addition to this question, International Criminal Court has considered it Netanyahu as a criminal of child. Why he has not been arrested in this genocide, in this killing of childrens, and the so-called United organizations like UNICEF, as I said, are silent, or seems to silence. And the second question is the final: what is the role and responsibilities of social workers in the world during the war and conflict situations, sir?
Sir, kindly unmute, sir. Again, it's mute, sir. Sir.
Ha.
Yes, sir.
Probably at this stage, for your series of questions, I can respond to the last part. We, the social workers, we have taken several roles in the recent times. Initially, we were providing services. Then we started into right-based advocacy. We started demanding. We wanted governments to respond. In India, we are doing it. We are asking the government to provide quality services, to enact right-based laws and programs. Of course, the associations are trying it, whether it is NAPSWI or it is the Federation of Social Work Associations. And also being part of the international bodies, we are all trying to look at how we can sensitize our own fraternity. The IFSW has taken a stand in all these aspects, whether it's about Palestine or about attacking Iran and other countries. IFSW has given its statement being part of the UN body, or rather being recognized by UN. Probably the other bodies of the UN, whether it is UNICEF or even UN itself, they are making their diplomatic statements. Probably I stop here. Otherwise, it will drag us into something else. But I concur with you to say that sometimes these bodies get paralyzed or bulldozed by big money organizations or big money countries. I know we all struggle to express ourselves when we read about the bombing of a school, killing of children in Iran, as well as how hospitals were massacred or pulled down in Palestine. Now we have to continue to stand together and make a firm statements to reach all these bodies. Probably I can stop here. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Akbar. And I kindly request the participants to keep your questions so crisp due to our time constraint and relevant to the topic as well. So next we have Anubha Gopal. Ma'am, kindly unmute yourself. Raise your concern.
Hello, sir. Am I audible?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So my question is that as we see that a lot of countries and even in India now we have started banning social media for children. So I wanted to ask, like, how do we see it as from the child rights perspective? Is it the right way of approaching, or we need to do something more in this area? So I just wanted to ask your perspective on this.
That's right. We gave the tool to the children. We are responsible for making them addicted to the instrument. We told the children and the societies that it is a boon. It is the answer for everything. But soon we are now finding it as a hindrance. Well, a lot of people are talking about banning, rather restricting the internet time. I mean, I agree with a little bit of restriction. If you say ban, it will only puts the whole instrument and the children into underground, and they will continue to use it. They will continue to abuse it. Now, the government will be at peril. The families will be at difficulties. How are you going to monitor them? See, instead, have you consulted children? Nowhere. In Karnataka, the government has passed a ruling that social media will be banned for adolescent children. And then they formed a committee, and the committee is still struggling to find out what to ban, how to ban. Now they are coming to a kind of a consensus to say that, let us say you will be restricted to use social media to a few hours like that. Now it's very difficult. Rather than telling, banning and putting an end, taking away the instrument from their hands, let us help children to learn. That is where the role of counselors and social workers will be there. The National Education Policy promised that there will be counselors in every school. I'm really, really looking out for such a program to be rolled out. And these counselors will have a big role in actually educating the children, educating the teachers. Now we have to work towards weaning out children from excessive dependency on social media and mobiles, and use that instrument in a constructive manner. It's very easy to tell than to apply, but we have to strive towards it, work towards it. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Now we have Dr. N. Balia Singh, sir. Sir, kindly unmute yourself and raise your concerns.
I think no. Go to the next one.
Yes. We have Mr. Satish Sana.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
Am I audible?
Yes,
Yes. Yes.
Sir, I'm a first year MSW student at TISS Mumbai.
Mhm.
Right now, I'm having internship at Children Home in Mumbai. So my question is, current the current provisions in the JJ Act are not creating deterrence among the factory owners. The factory owners are continue to exploit the vulnerable situation of children. What do you think?
Hmm. Then.
So the provisions are not adequate, sir. What do you think?
Okay.
So they are, sorry, sir, they are easily getting bail and they continue with the practice.
Okay. Well, I agree with you. Appreciate you for your observation, but I only request you not to get biased because you're still in the first year of MSW. There is still a long way to go um, in upholding the rights of the children. Well, coming back here. The CALPRA, that is Child and Adolescent Labor Prohibition Regulation Act, has very limited deterrent effects, as you are mentioning, and they also get bail. Of course, anybody can get bail on any crime for that matter. If they can convince the court, they'll certainly get bail from the court, may not be at the police station. The other aspect is the role played by the Section 17 officers, as mentioned in the CALPRA. The Section 17 officers are not really aware of their responsibilities. Even today, the act is almost how many? 50 years old act. Still, people don't know about the role they have to perform. Secondly, unfortunately, I know I'm sitting in a responsible position, still I'm making this statement. The court system and the judiciary that relies on the advocates who bring in evidences or who threaten evidences, this is where most of the people who complain try to go away from the whole court proceedings. I know I have given witnesses in the courts several times, and being an MSW, being trained in the Juvenile Justice Act, having knowledge about various other provisions in the various child-centric acts, even us, even people like me will be accosted, threatened, and made allegations when you go to give witness. Imagine the status of common people who are brought to courts to give evidence. Now, with good knowledge about the court and judicial systems, I still feel that the special courts that are supposed to be functioning in India as per the Commissions for Protection of Child Rights Act, as well as the POCSO Act, I'm mixing two things here. The special courts should take a different stand altogether to protect the rights of the children. Otherwise, people like you will continue to accuse, rather will feel that our acts are not that powerful or our systems are not working. The last one I would like to respond here is that the dereliction of duties by the concerned authorities. That's what I said, Kartavya Lopa. See, my several years of experience, I strongly feel that it is the Kartavya Lop or dereliction of duty are the major part of crimes against children than what is really happening. Number of children who are begging, number of children who are working, number of children who are getting married, etc. I always feel that if the officers perform their duty appropriately, then there will be less or no crimes on children. I mean, this is my opinion. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. we have two more, but actually there's less time. But if participants could keep your crisp, we could allow you. So I request Dr. M. Balayar Singh to kindly raise your concern.
No. Go to the next one.
Okay, so,
Mamdao.
yeah, Mr. Mamada Alpha.
Yes.
Please unmute yourself.
Okay. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Sir. So, according to you, why not decrease the violence of child rights and protection in worldwide?
Sorry, I couldn't get you.
I say, according to you,
Huh.
why not decreasing the violence of child rights and protection in worldwide?
Sorry,
Why-
I
Sir,
think
I say,
I'm
why
not in a
did-
position to
the-
comprehend that question.
I
Sorry.
say, why the violence?
Ah.
According to you, why the violence is increasing now in all worldwide in this time now?
Okay. Why the violence
Yeah,
is
of the child rights.
increasing on the
Yeah.
children worldwide?
Yeah.
Insensitivity
Mhm.
and self-centeredness,
Mhm.
and maybe what's happening in the country now. Why should America attack Iran? No? Why should somebody attack some other country?
Mhm.
We can't call it a war. I refuse to call it a war. It's an attack. Now,
Yeah.
similarly,
It's an attack.
Similarly, everybody who is powerful tries to make use of the vulnerable or the powerless. It's a kind of it is not a win-win situation. It is to exploit somebody else. The self-centeredness among adults who have forgotten that one day they were children may be the reason. I don't want to call it a chain reaction, as some people say, that you were abused once upon a time, that's why you become an abuser. No, I don't agree with that. A person who has never experienced any kind of abuse in their childhood may also be an abuser. A person who was abused as a child may not be an abuser at all. I mean, I don't agree with the chain reactions, but it is the greediness of adults. It is the greediness of anybody who is in power that is resulting in child abuse. Just take, for example, the child labor. Now, why child labor? Child labor is always against adult employment. One may say that no, adults and children are all paid equally. It's only during seasons in agricultural field or whatever it may be. Otherwise, why child labor? It is exploiting children who can be made to work for long hours and without any break, and give them less money, and you can dictate them. Similarly, child marriage. People say child marriage for several other reasons. My reason, after my research, I say that child marriage is for cheap labor. You marry a child, a small girl, and she will continue to be your servant at home. She will not raise her voice. It is cheap labor. That's why you marry. And many other reasons are there like that. Somebody wants to exploit, and the child is the easiest person to exploit because they don't talk back. And give them an opportunity, probably the adults will get back what they deserve. And the agencies, somebody said agencies are keeping quiet. They have their own reasons, whether it is UNICEF or such organizations, they are having their own compulsions to keep quiet in some places. But believe me, UNICEF and the associate organizations are on ground at Palestine and Iran. When I heard recently by a humanitarian worker at Iran who said that we have supplies, but we have no money to get them. But we are there on the ground to provide services. but UNICEF might have not succeeded in preventing the attack, but they are there providing services to the needy children. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Thanks a lot on behalf of NAPSWI, sir. We are literally honored with your presence and with your valuable insights, sir. And we are looking forward to have more sessions from you, sir. And thank you for your knowledge sharing and also for your patience to respond to all the participants' questions, sir. Thank you. And we'll now, yes, sir.
Once again, thank you all for giving me this opportunity. I know I had to prepare it because from the field, I'm more accustomed to conduct trainings and conduct workshops. Giving a lecture within a time frame is always a difficult thing for persons like me, but I've tried to do it. Thanks for this opportunity. Thanks to Dr. Sanjay Bhatt and all the friends from NAPSWI.
Thank you, sir. Thanks a lot, sir. So now we'll go to the second segment of today's session, and we have my co-host, Ms. Pinky, and she will take you through the second session. Pinky, can go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Srinath, and good afternoon, everyone. I am Pinky, pursuing Masters from Central University of Jammu, and I will be taking throughout the second session. We now move to session 2. It is my privilege to introduce our second resource person, Professor R.P. Dwivedi, a distinguished academician, social work profession, and a committed advocate of Gandhian philosophy in social practice. With over 35 years of rich experience, Professor Dwivedi had made significant contributions to social work education, child rights, and academic and community development. He has been associated with the Mahatma Gandhi Kashi Vidyapeeth, where he served as the faculty member in one of the earliest departments of social work in independent India, and later as the director of Gandhi Adhyan Vidyapeeth and Dean of the Faculty of Social Work. Throughout his career, he has mentored generations of social work students and has contributed extensively to academic research, publications, and field-based interventions rooted in Gandhian principles. Beyond academia, he has played an active role in social action, notably leading the Varanasi Childline initiatives for over 2 decades and organizing impactful campaigns addressing social justice, resource equity, and community mobilization. His work reflects a strong commitment to grassroots engagement, ethical practice, and social transformation. Sir, your experience bridging philosophy, education, and field practice brings a unique depth to today's discussion. We're honored to have you with us. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Pinky. I'm Edwin.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Pinky, for inviting me on this platform to share my knowledge and views what I did as an educator and as a member of the juvenile court, as well as the nodal director of the Childline in Varanasi, the first Childline of Uttar Pradesh. First of all, I welcome the efforts made by the NAPSWI, especially under the dynamic leadership of Professor Sanjay Bhatt and his team, Anup Bharti, General Secretary and executive members of the NAPSWI, that they started the new program, that is the web series. Earlier, what happened in the past, the NAPSWI regularly organized the social work conference every year, then observe the social work week from 15 August to 20 August every year, and just publish the newsletter and research journal. And time to time, on the demand of the social work departments, provide the resource person to deliver the special lecture in different institutions. I am thankful to this NAPSWI for inviting me, for providing me this opportunity to share my views. Thank you very much to you all. I am given the responsibility by the Professor Sanjay Bhatt that Dr. Dwivedi, you have to focus on NCPCR and SCPCR plus 2 Act, the Child Marriage Act, as well as the next Child Marriage Act and Child Labor Act, Protection Act. I am going to start by deliberations. As the first speaker rightly pointed out, that Jawaharlal Nehru said that children is the future of the nation. Therefore, we observe his birthday as a Bal Divas every year. No doubt, almost the history of child rights in India is covered by the first speaker. But definitely, I have to start from the Indian Constitution. We know in the Indian Constitution, we have the 4th chapter, that is the directive principle of state policy, which provide the space for the rights of the child, especially Article 45, the free and compulsory education up to the age of 14 years children. The Article 4, the chapter 4 is only purely to implement the welfare and developmental program for the weaker section, for the women, for the children, depressed class, and downtrodden. So no doubt, the constitutional makers focus on that, and really we move forward. As far as, without saying about the Antarashtriya Bal Varsh, International Children's Year, which was observed in 1979, the entire world was engaged to start the programs for the welfare and development of children of their nations, India too. And in 1975, Integrated Child Development Scheme was launched by the Government of India. Intention was to provide the welfare and development program, especially for the children, with focus on the 4 points: the children 0 to 6 years, pregnant women, lactating mothers, and adolescent girls. These are the focal points, especially that we have to support them and we have to work in this direction. And what happened? We just started the 6 programs, especially for the children: immunization, supplementary nutrition, immunization especially for the polio, measles, as well as tuberculosis, health checkup, preschool education, and nutrition and health education. And no doubt, it was the initial very systematic work by the Government of India, supported it. And we know that when this program was launched, Government of India financially supported to the state. And at the pilot project, it was started the tribal belt, especially in the suburb areas, slum areas of the different cities. And it was great success. But the time came when the ICDS scheme or ICPS scheme was launched during the regime of the Manmohan Singh. We brought all the programs, welfare and developmental programs and protection programs, under one umbrella that is called ICPS program. And laterally, we changed it, we named in different manner, that is NCPCR, National Commission for the Protection of the Child Rights. And it came after that, one of the act, Child Protection Commission, 2005. After 2 years, a commission was set up at the national level. What was the structure of that? In that national commission, we have 1 president and 6 other members, in which compulsory 2 women are there in that. Minimum two women will be there. And what was the main function of that NCPCR? What are the acts passed by the Government of India time to time to implement it, execute it? For example, POCSO Act, Right to Education Act, just how to just observe and how to just implement it. They seriously watch it. The first function is this. And second, if there is a violation of the child rights at the national level, so definitely to intervene it and to inquire about it. And third, time to time, to suggest the policies and programs to the Government of India for the betterment of this section. These are the main function of this NCPCR. And on that pattern, at the state level, we set up the SCPCR, State Commission for the Protection of the Child Rights. It is also having the 3 functions. What are the shelters? Bal Sudhar Grih and Asylum, the inspection of these to just maintain the standard of the institutions. This is the first function. And secondly, if there is a complaint against the violation of the child rights, take immediate action against such situation. And third, to just maintain the standard and to just improve the conditions of the children, to suggest government and to submit the report. What are the powers given to them? As power is given to the civil court, first to issue the summons to any person who is involved in the violation of the child right. He can issue the summons and persons should be go to the court. That is compulsory. So first, what is the civil right? Civil court right, that is right to the National Commission for the Protection of the Child Right. Second, what are the big issues at the national level about the violation of the child? To inquire about it. And third, to suggest the government of India to improve the conditions of the children. These are the powers given. And what the commission do? Commission issue the notice, issue the summons. Second, commission can ask any office to submit the document and the witness document. And third, that is very important, to take sumoso, to take action, to start the, this is the main function of this and rights of this NCPCR. NCPCR, and before this, we know that how we started it, there is a background. No doubt the Dr. Vasudeva just highlighted it, but once again, I will bring in the notice of the students, especially the participants. United Nations Convention of the Right of the Child, which was organized under the banner of United Nations, in which 196 just nations participated, and they all accepted the 4 rights: the right to survival, right to protection, right to development, right to participation. And India also signed that and implemented, accepted it from the 1992. And we started working in this direction. Now we have the 2 rights, 2 especially the laws related to the child labor and to the Child Marriage Restraint Act. How to stop the child labor? And there is no need to tell. The first Bal Shram Nishedh or Minimum Adhiniyam 1986 was passed, and it was started from 23rd December 1986, and there was an amendment in 2016. What was the amendment? Who is child? In 1986, the child age was 14, and laterally there was an amendment 14 to 18 for the Kishore. इन्हें क्या करना था? How to protect them? तो बच्चों के लिए था चाइल्ड लेबर एक्ट में, all the children, any child whose age of 14 will not be employed any occupations, fully prohibited. But there was exception in that if he is going to support the family business, family activities, but he has to attend the school in leisure time, he can be involved in that. The first exception is this. And for the 18 years children, 14 to 18 years children, they will not given this work or occupation in hazardous just industries. Example for the crack fires, जो पटाखा बनाने वाली हैं, वेंगल बनाने वाली हैं, माइंस हैं, उसमें उनको इन्वॉल्व नहीं किया जा सकता एक बड़ी कड़ाई के साथ. तो ये जो है काम कर सकते हैं. And they can take, for the children is concerned, they can take part also in the exception में. फिल्म में काम कर सकते हैं, टीवी में काम कर सकते हैं, एडवर्टाइजमेंट में काम कर सकते हैं, लेकिन वहां भी they have to attend the school in leisure time. They can be involved in this. What are the provisions? If anybody is going to violate it and to employ such a child, then what will be the punishment? The 6 month jail, 6 month जो है उसके पास 6 महीने से लेकर 2 साल तक के लिए जेल imprisonment की बात है, और 20,000 to 50,000 रुपीस जुर्माना है उसके ऊपर. अगर once again repeat it, so it can be increased from 1 to 3 years jail, prison. Government of India also provided the support after establishing the chest for that. ऐसे बच्चे जो रेस्क्यू किए जाते हैं, वो कैसे जो है उनके लिए स्पेशल फंड की व्यवस्था की गई गवर्नमेंट के द्वारा, और उसके माध्यम से we support the such child who are rescued from the such industry as some occupation. तो एक ये जो बाल श्रम का इसके लिए काम हुआ। सेकंड है बाल विवाह रोकने के लिए हाउ टू स्टार्ट द चाइल्ड मैरिज in Indian system. All the communities especially run by their social institutions, what they did in the past. I would like to recite one श्लोक। अष्ट वर्षे भवेत गौरी 9 वर्षे च रोहिणी 10 वर्षे भवेत कन्या तत्पुत्रजस्वला। हिंदू जो सिस्टम का ग्रंथ कहता है 8 वर्ष में अगर लड़की की शादी कर दिया तो गौरी के समान है, इफ 9 वर्ष में कर दिया तो रोहिणी के समान है, 10 वर्ष में वो कन्या हो जाती है, उसके बाद शादी करिए या ना करिए। इट मीन्स द हिंदू मैथोलॉजी फोर्स द पीपल फॉर द चाइल्ड मैरिज। लेकिन देयर इज अ चेंज इन द एटीट्यूड ड्यू टू द एजुकेशन, ड्यू टू दिस कानून एंड रेगुलेशन, ड्यू टू दिस लॉज। अब नाउ वी हैव डिसाइडेड व्हाट through the legislation. The first act was passed during the British regime in 1929. That is known as the शारदा एक्ट, जिसमें 14 years एज की लड़की का एज निर्धारित किया गया और 18 years बॉयज का किया गया। Laterally, there is a little amendment. The age was increased from 14 to 15, but age of the male child was 18. And lastly, we changed in 2006. There was a major amendment in that. The new act was passed, Provision of Child Marriage Act PCMA 2006. 2006 में क्या कर दिया? What was the age of the child? Girl child, it is up to the 18 and boys 21. These are the. What was the objective? First, why rebel? 0 level पर ले जाना, चाइल्ड मैरिज नहीं होगा, हमें समाप्त कर देना। We have to eradicate these evils from the society. Second, if any child is going to marry, especially the adolescent, is going to marry with any children less than 14 years, will be punished, and there will be just prison for the 2 years and 1 lakh rupees the penalties he has to pay. And those who are supporting it, the mother, father, Pandit or Maulvi, those are involved in that, they will be also just get the penalty and just will be the punishment. Now there is a provision of child marriage prevention officer in every district, and a team is constituted. The child protection officer and the child probation officer will be there. They will look into the matter, they will find it, and they will give the solution. These are the act. But what to do? Being a social work, what is the responsibility in 2 acts? For example, if we are going to just stop the Child Labor Act, we have to effectively just manage it. Then definitely what we have to do? There is 4 approaches are there. First is preventive approach, in which we have to propagate the idea. We have to tell the people by the various ways using the mass media's program for poster exhibition, street drama, and other things. We have to educate the people that they should at least know these are the provisions. If you are going to violate it, then you will be punished. So first we have to. Secondly, thus we have also educate. If the such cases is going on, we have to inform the people, those who are responsible for this, child protection officer, and second, child marriage probation officers, that this is going on. I am given this responsibility to share my views because I worked in two category and 2 positions. First, I was the member of the Juvenile Justice Court, member magistrate, what I did in that. And secondly, I was the nodal director of the child line. So what we decided first, how to educate. In preventive measures, we have to make that system child friendly. We have to just educate the advocate. We have to educate the press media people. We have to educate the other judicial people involved in that. We have to educate the principals and teachers time to time, so that these people will communicate to the society that we have to just forget this particular evils from the society, and we have to start a new way of the life. So now, number 1. Second is curative measures. Curative measure means if the cases are going on, we have to bring in the notice of the judiciary. We have to bring up the notice of other police authority that this is a violation of the law. So we have to just tell them, we have to support them so that they will be free. I would like to tell one example. I received a message from a student that I am the age of 20 and my parents are going to just marriage by marriage a girl and I am not 21. Marriage date was settled. Before one day, there was a report to the child line. Child line approached to the police officer and the child marriage provision officer. And what happened? We people just did the red and the family member bill brought to the police station and it was cancelled. But laterly knew that child who reported that I am the underage, I am below 21, and how he is going to just arrange my marriage. Laterally, we knew that he was having the some relation with someone. Therefore, he wrote a letter to us to just interfere in that. So definitely, if the real people are there working sincerely, having commitment to do something in this direction, for the social work student, for the social work institution, they have to launch the campaign for this. So this will be the success. Otherwise, it is not possible. We know that there is a rule, there is an act in the railway that when God will ensure that all the passenger has gone inside of the compartment, he will give the green signal. Otherwise, train will not move. And what is happening now? The train is moving and there is violation of that. वैसे ही हो रहा है हमारे देश में भी, कानून भी है, कानून भी चल रहा है और ये भी चल रहा है. हमें इसके लिए we have to work hard. We have to with full commitment with the missionary zeal. We have to work to stop this such kind of things which is going on in the country. So these are the things which I brought in the notice of the people. And secondly, third, in rehabilitation approach, in to act. Secondly, those who are rescued from the child labor, we have to check it time to time. We have to monitor. We have to evaluate. We have to follow the cases that they are once again not coming in that industry. Families not forcing them to do the child labor. So time to time in the rehabilitation, we have to support the child. We have to be regularly in touch to motivate the family members and the community people that once again he will not force to go for the job in such kind of hazardous institution. And fourth, the developmental program, we have to do the research. We have to suggest the government time to time what we can do better for the development of the children in the nation. So these are the four approaches we have to adopt it, and we have to work on in that direction, especially in the child level. Okay, so these are the things which I wanted to communicate you. I share with you. Whatever the questions you want, you can reach.
Pinky, unmute yourself.
Okay. Thank you, Professor Dwivedi Sirji, for your insightful session. So we have 10 minutes for question answer session. Participants may raise their hands. They can ask questions in English as well as in Hindi. Thank you. Shraddha, you can ask question. Shraddha, unmute yourself and ask question.
Yes. Am I audible?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, sir, what I want to ask was that specifically in Indian context, children really lack agency. For example, if a child complains about being sexually abused by an adult in their family, so most probably they're not going to be believed. And what they are going to be told is, stay sensible, don't say stuff like this, tell the truth or don't tell lies. So could this be the main reason for their increasing exploitation because of their lack of agency and how they are perceived, because they are not, as an adult, we have agency and we have control over our own actions. But for children, that is completely opposite. Like all of their life, like their whole childhood is being controlled by adults. So is that the reason, like the increase in exploitation and abuse?
Exactly. Therefore, you rightly pointed out there is a need of making awareness. Without awareness, we have to educate the family member. We have to educate the other people that they should be very cautious about it. And we have to tell even the children that if you feel that there is a bad touch, you're feeling something in the family, you can bring to the family members, to the mother, to the brother, and anybody others. So without educating the people, we cannot remove such kind of problem society. Education is the only means. And secondly, we have to motivate the children in the school. What we did in the Varanasi, we cover all the city institutions to tell the girls colleges, girls inter colleges, girls school, what is the bad touch and what is good touch. If you are feeling, you will bring even your notice of your principal, your teacher. They will bring the notice of their family member or those who are working especially for this section. Shraddha.
Now, actually, the concept is moved to safe touch and unsafe touch.
Yeah, exactly.
Because any touch can be, sometimes it will be good. Children may feel good with somebody's touch at some place, but they have to understand whether it is safe for them or not. Thank you.
Now, Mr. Satish, you can unmute yourself and ask the question.
Hello, sir. Good afternoon.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah, I'm
सर आप चाइल्ड लाइन इंडिया के जोनल डायरेक्टर है. सो मेरा एक ऑब्जर्वेशन था कि जो बिहार में 3-4 हॉटस्पॉट डिस्ट्रिक्ट्स है, वहाँ से ज्यादा बच्चे आ रहे हैं, लाइक रनिंग अवे फॉर चाइल्ड लेबर. दीज आर मोतिहारी, सीतामढ़ी, ईस्ट चंपारण. सो चाइल्ड लाइन इंडिया उनको वहीं पे उस रेलवे स्टेशन पे रोक नहीं सकती थी.
Yeah, very good question you raise. I have the very good experience from two point of view. One, the domestic workers are supplied by the Jharkhand and Bihar and West Bengal to the houses of the so-called the moderated people and the people, those who are from the upper state of the society. One case is in my notice. I would like to raise the example. And no doubt, in the child line at the railway station, earlier there were only few, the child line was established. Laterally, it has increased more than 100 cities, covered 100 cities. And at the railway station, we observed that who is going on in this direction to just put the such children in the such a hazardous just job, the hazardous job, are working as a domestic servant. But it was very difficult. If the family members are in the different way are going to send through their relatives, it will not be possible by the child line to observe and to find out, to check them. What happened here in Varanasi, I can refer one case. One day I received a message from the railway station that a boy is of 14 years weeping on the street of the bridge. People asked me, what is the problem? He said that my sister is here working somewhere at the doctor's home, in the pathologist home. And I wanted to meet her. I reached over there. But what happened? The doctors didn't permit me to meet her. And laterally, it was in her notice that my sister is working there, that is the hospital, and I want to meet her. There is a need to rescue to my sister. That time I was the magistrate of the Juvenile Court. I was just in position to just communicate to the police officers, and I asked the police chowki in charge that with the help of the child line volunteers, there is a need to raid the hospital. And anyhow, the police entered in that. He was very, very influential person in that Varanasi because his classmate was the DGP of the DIG of the Varanasi police. Girls came out from that pathology. उसका जो हाथ था पूरा सड़ गया था क्योंकि वो पोछा का काम करती थी, क्लीनिंग का काम करती थी. And she was also below 16, not that. And we just intervened that case. और इंटरव्यू दैट केस उसको थाने पे लाया गया. मैंने कहा नहीं, कंप्रोमाइज नहीं होगा. और हुआ क्या, लॉट विद द हेल्प ऑफ हर, व्हाट हु जस्ट सप्लाइड हर, आई जस्ट कुड रीच टू दैट पर्सन एंड ही सप्लाइड मोर देन 50 domestic workers from the Jharkhand. So definitely there is a need of commitment, and laterally we followed strictly that it was stopped coming the domestic workers from the Jharkhand and from the Bengal. But there is a need, not only the single person, single child line. Therefore, I told you people there is a need of advocacy. There is need of launching campaign. There is a mass awareness campaign to be, and we have to just educate the people to make the system child friendly. The police people, juvenile justice board is there, but definitely we have to educate the other people, judiciary people, advocate, journalists, that they should bring in the notice of the authority so that we can just rescue the people, we can help the people.
Thank you, sir. Now we have Miss Rashmi. Miss Rashmi, you can unmute yourself and ask the question, and please make it quick.
नमस्कार सर, मेरा सवाल मेरे पास दो सवाल है सर। एक थोड़ा सा पॉलिसी लेवल पे है और एक थोड़ा ग्राउंड लेवल का सवाल है। पॉलिसी लेवल का है कि जितनी भी पॉलिसीज बनती हैं, जितनी भी कानून बनते हैं, तो जिन भी तबकों के लिए बनते हैं वहाँ का रिप्रेजेंटेशन रहता है, पर ये एक अनोखा तबका है जहाँ चिल्ड्रन रिप्रेजेंटेशन नहीं होता है। उनकी बात तो खैर नहीं सुनी जाती है क्योंकि बड़े लोग ही सोचते हैं उनके लिए क्या जरूरी है। तो ऐसे कौन से मैकेनिज्म हैं जिसके थ्रू हम ये इंश्योर करते हैं कि बातें चिल्ड्रन की सुनी जा रही हैं? एक तो मेरा ये सवाल है सर। और दूसरा सवाल है, अभी पिछले में सर ने बताया कि कन्वेंशन ऑफ चिल्ड्रन राइट, चाइल्ड राइट था, जिसके अंदर की आर्टिकल 32 पे हमारा रेटिफिकेशन के बावजूद भी रिजर्वेशन रहा, विच वाज रिलेटेड टू लेबर लॉ। सर, पर एक और एरिया है जो चाइल्ड मैरिज के लेकर है। कुछ लोगों को हमने ये देखा कि बच्चे खुद से ही शादी करना चाहते हैं, वो 16 साल के नीचे हैं और वो शादी कर भी लेते हैं, और जो पेरेंट्स हैं वो अंडर प्रेशर उनको हामी भरनी पड़ती है। तो उसमें क्या कर सकते हैं सर? और बाकी तो है कि कुछ जगहों पे उनके राइट्स में आता है, वो कहते हैं कि हमें ये मिला हुआ है कि हम कर सकते हैं शादी, पर्सनल लॉ के अंदर है। तो उस सिचुएशन में कैसे डील करें सर? थैंक यू सर।
बहुत अच्छा क्वेश्चन किया आपके। दो क्वेश्चन है। पहला क्वेश्चन है कि बच्चों का पार्टिसिपेशन जो पॉलिसी फॉर्मुलेशन में नहीं, बहुत कम होता है या उन्हें सुना नहीं जाता है। बहुत अच्छा सवाल आपका है। जो हमारा इंटेंशन है पॉलिसी बनाने का या जो काम करने का, इस दिशा में काम करने का है, ये स्पेसिफिक रूप से कहा जाता है दोज हु आर रियली चाइल्ड फ्रेंडली एंड एक्सपर्ट इन दैट डायरेक्शन, हैविंग द कमिटमेंट फॉर द वेलफेयर एंड डेवलपमेंट, दे विल बी मेंबर इन दैट. If the political people with the political motive join this particular the policy just decision making group, so definitely they are creating trouble. Therefore, we are not success to achieve this program, achieve this number of the programs. So, and we cannot ask only the child who is the below 14 years can take part in policy formulation. There is a need to select the people, right people for the right job, right work. Then we can achieve the goal. And for example, day before yesterday, I was watching that there is a minority commission was constituted just one day or 2 days back. What happened in minority commissions? Muslims are there, okay? The Christians are there, and other community people are there. We know that Christians is also in the law, very good number here there, and Sikh are there, but not a single person from the Christian group is there in that minority. What is going on? If the political people are not very serious about it, so definitely, therefore, we need an association, a strong association at the national level, so that we can put pressure over to the government, we can put pressure over the legislators to formulate the policies suited to the people, and the participation should be in very good level. So only is way. And secondly, the second question is, what was second question? Rashmi? The first question is this, that we can do. And third question, second question, once can you repeat it? Yeah. You unmute yourself.
Yes, sir. So second question was regarding child marriage, where few children themselves marry.
Yeah. Now, when the act is there, the personal decision cannot be involved in that. There is a strict rule is there. Age is fixed, And anybody, if the child is insisting, there is a need of awareness. That is only solution. For example, still the child marriage is going on in Rajasthan in very good number. You will find it. In the remote area, in the West Bengal, in the Bihar, you will find the number of the marriages are going and violating the child just marriage restraint act. Only the solution is we have to educate the people. Only solution is that we have to educate the people. With commitment, we have to reach to the people. There is a need in the training in the panchayat system. We have to educate the people. We have to cover the panchayat. We have to reach to village. And outreach program is required. Outreach program by the social work institutions and other social work association or NGOs. If the outreach campaign we are going to regularly do it, definitely the number will decrease of the such kind of things. Okay, this is my suggestion.
So I think there is no more questions. So now I will close the question answer session. प्रोफेसर द्विवेदी सर, पहले तो मैं आपका बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद कहना चाहूंगी कि आपने अपना कितनी वक्त निकाल के यहाँ पे इतना जानकारी साझा की है, उसके लिए आपका बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया. Now I would like to invite Mr. Srinath for closing remarks and vote of thanks. Over to you, Mr. Srinath.
Yes, sir, I think we have one more question, I think. That's the final question, maybe. From
Yeah, most welcome.
Who is that? Pinky, who is that? So, one more person raised the hand. It's Sonika.
Miss Sonika.
Yes, that's a final question, maybe. She's the only one.
Yeah, Sonika, come out.
Yes.
जी सर, मुझे पूछना था, जैसे अगर हम पंचायतों में जाकर अगर हम किसी को बोले कि जैसे मतलब हमारे इंडिया में एजुकेशन सिस्टम भी तो अच्छा नहीं है ना कहीं भी, कि बच्चे पढ़ रहे हैं तो जैसे गवर्नमेंट स्कूल हो गए तो वहां भी टीचर इतने सीरियस नहीं लेते बच्चों का फ्यूचर.
नहीं, एक बात मुझे सोनी बताना है आपको ये इसके बारे में. Already we just teach our students community power structure. Okay? Community power structure. There is a two structure. Formal structure of community power and informal community power structure. If the formal power structure is not supporting you, you have to just identify the informal community power structure. For example, वह लेडी जो बहुत अच्छा गाना गाती है, हर शादी विवाह में बुलाया जाता है, वो बड़ी इन्फ्लुएंसर होती है, उसको पकड़ने की जरूरत है. ऐसे गांव के लोग जो एक कास्ट बेस, दे आर नॉट द इलेक्टेड द रिप्रेजेंटेटिव ऑफ द पंचायत, लेकिन वो अपनी बिरादरी के अपने कास्ट के लीडर हैं, तो ऐसे लोगों को यूनाइट करके उनको पकड़ना है. फॉर्मल स्ट्रक्चर में हेडमास्टर है, सेक्रेटरी है, जो वहां पर हेल्थ वर्कर है, आशा वर्कर है, दीज आर द फॉर्मल स्ट्रक्चर ऑफ द कम्युनिटी पावर. सो वी हैव टू जस्ट टेक देम इन कॉन्फिडेंस, देन वी कैन डू इट. Definitely it is very difficult task, but it is not impossible. We have to just reach to the village. We have to really reach to the suburb areas where the government body structure is there. We can take help and we can convince them. ऐसा नहीं संभव है कि no.
Yes, sir.
Anybody else?
No, sir. Yes. So thank you, sir. Thanks a lot. As we come to the end of the session, I thank we from NAPSWI essentially thank our distinguished speakers, Dr. N.V. Vasudeva Sharma sir and also Professor R.P. Dwivedi sir, for sharing your knowledge and your experience. Your insights have really added great value to our understanding of child rights and protection systems, sir. And we thank you for your patience to explain all our participants in detail. Thanks a lot, sir. And also, I also thank Dr. Sanjay Bhatt, sir, for bringing us such a valuable resources persons and giving us opportunity to have a great knowledge and go forward in our profession as well. Once again, I thank all the participants for joining us across the country and also from other parts of the nation and being a part of this legal literacy journey. Thanks a lot. And the participation and
Thanks to
feedback.
Srinath too. Thanks,
Sir.
Srinath Bandela too, for conducting the very good programs
Sir.
as a moderator.
Thank you, sir. And thanks a lot, sir. And also, I request all the participants, you can please mark your attendance through the participation and feedback form, which was posted in the chat box. Kindly look into it. And, yes.
Thank you, Srinath. Thanks to everyone at NAPSWI for this opportunity.
So, thanks a lot.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Dwivedi sir.
Thank you, Vasudeva, for very informative deliberations, especially from the history of the child rights in India, from the very beginning to till the latest, what the development field of the child development. And you also face the questions raised by the students regarding what is going on war in Iran, Israel, America, and other countries, how we can stop it and how we can solve this problem.
Hope to meet you sometimes in the near future.
Okay,
Bye.
okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir. And those who have any queries regarding the membership as well, that was posted in the group, in the flyer. Those who haven't registered it, kindly make your registration for the membership of the NAPSWI. And if you have any queries, you can always reach out to the NAPSWI support. The number was enclosed in the WhatsApp group. You have a special group for that. And without marking your attendance, we cannot issue the certificate. So kindly do not leave the session without marking your attendance. Thank you, Pinky. Thank you, Mr. Rom, for the technical support, because this is today it's the last session for child regarding the children, and upcoming we'll be coming with the new series with the different lecture, and that will be notified you in the group, and that will be notified in a short period. And regarding any queries regarding the certification and everything, you can always reach to the NAPSWI office or the NAPSWI portal. Yes, Pinky.
Nothing, Mr. Srinath. I thought someone raised the hand. That's why I opened the mic.
Oh,
no. Okay.
Chat box. The chat box is open for everyone. Those who have any queries, you can post it down. We'll answer now.